So when you get into the upper right hand corner where you're a high speed, high rev player, okay, and there's a lot of that. I mean, think about it, that's what a lot of the tour guys are.
They sure are.
They're high speed, high revs, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So what do they drill? They drill high RG, medium diff balls. Take a look at some of the guys on TV with the success they have. With some of, like, I'll give you an example. Marshall Kent threw a breakaway. They throw the GBs. A lot of
Hmm.
guys throw the GBs, right?
Yep, those are medium.
Medium, medium. They throw the hammers, the black hammer,
Yeah, those
which
are not
is
those are anomalies. Those are high RG, low diff. But
right,
those are urethane, so that's how they
exactly,
come. The thick
right,
shells is
right,
just how they come.
right. But they throw high RG, high diff,
Hmm.
which falls into that box. High RG, high diff balls.
Yeah.
They throw medium RG balls with high diffs because they want to get the ball to hook down lane. Now that depends on the condition. Again, you don't see these guys drilling a lot of the max bias balls because they are high RG, high diff, strong cover stocks. You
Low
know,
RG, high diff.
I
Other
mean
way.
low RG and high diff, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they don't
You
need the
know,
help. They don't need that kind of
they
help
don't need the
from a bowling
help,
ball.
right? Exactly. So you look at where you fit, and then you start to piece it in. Now, part two of that is, again, you go to the drill sheets and you look up the drill pattern for that ball that fell into that category that gives you as close to the numbers after drilling that you need. For instance, if you need a high RG, high diff ball, and you take out a ball and you want to drill something maybe that's in the category below it, medium RG, high diff, okay, you still want to drill it so that it gives you the highest diff and highest RG. It's not going to be as high as the high RG,
Yeah.
high diff ball would be after drilling.
The best matchup for what you're trying to do. And
Yeah,
this all takes
exactly.
research before you actually pick bowling balls. When you're trying to pick an arsenal or drill
Sure.
new bowling balls, what you're trying to add,
Right.
look at the numbers, match up the covers. That's how you
Yep.
build an arsenal. When you're
Yeah. Yeah.
obviously the core numbers and all that stuff makes sense, but now you pair it with the covers and all that, and then drill
Exactly.
patterns on top of that. What numbers are going to be
Right.
after the fact? It's all
Right.
stuff you can look up and
But
build into your arsenal. Okay, well, and then it makes it easier when you're going through these bowling balls during a tournament or league, even to be
right.
able to know what is the next ball in the succession. Okay, when this ball starts burning up, it's not just a wild guess after that. Well, what am I going to do? What's my move? You know
Right.
what your next ball is in the range,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
know that it's going to come either with a little move or you can stay in the same spot or both. You
Yeah.
know,
And you don't want to make it gigantic moves. The difference between balls should be significant enough um, that you can see it. I always believe that it's 5 boards, 3 to 5 boards, and 3 to 5 feet on the
mm-hmm.
lane. I don't think you can see. I don't think you can actually see that if it's less than that.
Right. And some of those changes would be either or. Like it's either going to
Yeah,
give you
yeah,
the
yeah,
same
yeah,
amount of hook,
yeah. Exactly.
but 3, 4 feet more down the lane because it's a cleaner cover,
Right.
a similar type core dynamic, but
Right.
that'll give you more length, or
Yeah.
all the above where you're going to get more flare, more cover strength, and
Right.
make the total move there.
Yeah. But when people, you take the, and I'm not saying the average guy, you take the bowlers. The biggest problem bowlers have today is their arsenals get so huge that they are inundated. They don't know what to do and what the next move is, and they're not sequential. They don't have an arsenal that makes, like Nick said, where you go from this ball one to ball two to ball three.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, that ball does this, but this one hooks less than that. This one's sharper down lane. You got to be able to say, here's my cluster
Mm-hmm.
of 3 or 4 balls. And if I'm going to add one on the outside of it, maybe. But you have to stay within that cluster because that's what's going to make you be more competitive. The worst thing in the world is the field has a 2-team reaction. You're averaging 2-0. You're losing ground, and your next move is going to shoot 150.
Mm-hmm.
I needed a ball change. It didn't work. You shot 150. Now you're out of it. You're not going to
Yeah,
get there. You're mathematically eliminated.
You threw up the Hail Mary and you lost.
Yeah, you need to shoot 320 the next game. It's not going to happen. So, what you have to do is you have to realistically look at your arsenal, and you also have to realize what your limitations are. I mean, I don't throw the ball hard. If I'm in a tournament where you got to throw it hard, I'm done.
Yeah, that's the bowler's mentality, though. You go from shooting 2-0 and 190s,
Yeah.
and then you get to like the last two games, and you go, well, if I just shoot 540, I can make the cut for the last
Yeah,
two.
you can shoot 540, right? All of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's going to be.
All of a sudden, you're going to throw 23 strikes in the next two games?
Yeah, exactly. So you have to sit there and say, I'm going to make minor tweaks so that you don't pop a 150 in there because you didn't know what to do next, or your arsenal got too crazy. You have to make that arsenal a realistic list of product that you can go to and have an idea. And I always try to keep it simple. Less is better. And I'm not going to get back to say the old days were better than they're not. It's just evolution of the game. But a hand position change, different part of the lane, subtle changes could be all it takes for you to get into that string, where you throw 5, 6, 7 in a row. It's not going to necessarily be, I'm going to stand here and keep changing balls till it works. You might have to do some tweaking. If your tilt is what it is and your rotation is what it is, your ball speed what it is, and then all of a sudden you're not competitive, it's not going to be a bowling ball. It's going to have to be something you do differently. Change your hand position, tuck your pinky, whatever little thing you have to do to make it react a little bit differently with the same balls that you have. I love selling bowling balls. It's what I do. But I don't see how we can help you if you look at this chart and I have all 9 balls. The guy in the upper left-hand corner can't throw 6 of them.
Could barely carry in 6 of them.
Exactly. I always laugh and people laugh. I bring in, I have an intel. I always bring in a sneak attack. I bring that in. I have a hitter pinned down. That falls almost out of my range. Almost out of my range.
Yeah, it might come in, for like the tour guy where you said low RG, high diff. They might use those balls at the very start to break down a pattern to get them through practice, or maybe half of a game, maybe a full game, and then they're getting out of that ball. Right. Because they know as the pattern develops and it dries up, that ball is going to roll forward. That ball is not going to have the energy.
Yes. And if I'm bowling, if I'm bowling good and I'm throwing the ball well, I know that flat 7, what caused it. Mm-hmm. It wasn't, I got a bad break.
It was your loft.
It was exactly. But if I left that flat 7, I know what the reason is. If I throw it again, leave another one, I have the wrong ball in my hand. That ball rolled forward. But I can't, if I have to go back but what I don't want to do is walk back and see 3 triple bags sitting back there, and now I have to pick a ball out of that mess and try to guess which one.
Or even worse, you're the type of bowler that hit the pocket 3 times, flat 7 3 times, and said, "Right, I'm hitting the pocket." It's like, I'm hitting the pocket. I don't know why this isn't striking. Yeah, I'm hitting the pocket.
Yeah.
And it's not the difference between a good hit and a bad hit and a good ball reaction. You might be able to get to the pins, but if the ball's out of energy,
right. But if you're throwing it good, it's not you. If I'm hitting the pocket every shot, it's not me. It's the ball I had in my hand. I have the wrong combination. Yes, the lane man. Blame him. I have the wrong combination. So I always preach to people, don't get crazy with your arsenal. Weed it down and get it so that it's sequential. Here's my benchmark ball. I have 1 left of it, 1 right of it. Or maybe here's my benchmark ball. I have 2 other balls. And if you look at the way the chart is set up, the guy in the upper left-hand corner, the guy in the bottom right-hand corner has 4 balls. The guy in the left bottom and the right top has 4 balls that they should be able to go to build an arsenal around. If you need more than that, it's matchup. It's not product. Mm-hmm. You don't have the game for what's successful that day. And that's what you have to realize. It's no longer the way it was years ago where you could shoot 190 on a pattern, stay competitive, and pop 230s and be in a hunt. It's not like that anymore. If a guy's got it out of the box, he could average 250. You will be mathematically eliminated. Yeah, not because you're not as good as him. Your style doesn't match.
He had the nuts.
Period. That's it. That's exactly right. You know, you go to nationals and watch people bowl at nationals that kill certain players bowl better. That's what happens. It's not the product necessarily.
A
It's
lot of
the
the tour
difference
players
between
bowl pretty well. Why is
exactly. Why is that? Right, exactly.
that?
We have
Oh,
any
it was
questions?
matchup. It was total
Yeah, it was-
matchup.
yeah.
They had all those bowling balls. You know, they
Is
get all
that
those
all?
bowling balls for free.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's why
Right.
they bowl
Yeah.
better.
No.